We sent no contingent of force from heaven against his people to destroy them, after that he has believed, nor do we ever command any of such things. It was just a single blast, and behold, they were all extinct like a spark of fire extinguished. Alas for my servants, not a single messenger comes to reform them, but they treat him lightly. Have they not seen how many generations we have ruined before them, and that those generations never come back to them after their ruination? Indeed, they, one and all, shall most certainly be brought before us. The dead earth which we bring to life, and from which we bring forth a large variety of grains, of which they eat, is an important sign for them. And we have made to grow thereon, the earth, gardens of date palms and vine, and we have caused springs to gush forth from it, so that they may enjoy its fruit, and enjoy that which their hands have worked for. Will they then render us no thanks, and follow our guidance? Glory be to him who has created pears of all type, of the thing that the earth grows, and of their own species, and of the things yet unknown to them. The night from which we strip off the last vestige of the day, so that afterwards they are left in pitch darkness, is a great sign for them. And the sun is moving on its ordained course, towards the goal determined for it. That is the determining of the Almighty, the possessor of perfect knowledge. And think over the phases of the moon. We have determined its various mansions, so that after traversing these mansions, it returns to the stage when it appears like an old dry twig of a palm tree. It is not given to the sun to attain to the purpose ordained for the moon, nor is it given to the night to outstrip the day. All of these luminaries go on floating smoothly in an orbit of their own. And it is a sign for these people that we carry their children in the fully laden ships. And we will make for them other means of transport, such things as they will board. If we so willed, we would drown them. Then they would have no one to succor them, nor would they be rescued. It is only through mercy from us that we save them, and let them have an enjoyment of worldly gains for a while. And when it is said to them, guard yourself against that punishment which is impending before you, and that which is behind you, and may befall you as a consequence of your evil past, so that you may be shown mercy, they turn away. There never comes to them a message from the messages of their Lord, but they always turn away from it. And when it is said to them, spend out of that which Allah has provided for you, those who disbelieve say to those who believe, shall we feed those whom, if Allah so will, He could feed? You are only steeped in obvious error. They also say, tell us if indeed you are truthful, when this warning about punishment shall come to pass. They are thus only waiting for one sudden onslaught of calamity, which will overtake them while they are yet disputing about it among themselves. And so sudden will be their end, that they will not be able to leave instructions about their affairs, nor to their own people will they return. And the trumpet shall be blown, and behold, rising from their graves they will hasten on to their Lord. They will say to one another, oh, woe be on us! Who has aroused us from our sleeping place? This is the same thing as the most gracious God had promised and the messengers of God did indeed speak the truth, will be the reply they receive. It will only be a single blast, and behold, they shall all be brought before us. So on this day no injustice whatsoever shall be done to any soul. You shall reap the fruit of your deeds. On this day, the owners of paradise will be occupied in their pursuits, rejoicing. They and their companions will be in pleasant shades, reclining on raised couches. Therein they shall have fruits, and they will have all that they ask for. Peace be upon you shall be the word of greeting to them from the ever merciful Lord. And it will be said to the sinners, O guilty ones, remain apart as distinguished from the righteous this day. O children of Adam, did I not enjoin on you never to worship Satan? For he is to you an enemy, severing your ties with me. And did I not charge you to worship me? For this is the straight and right path. Yet he, Satan, has certainly led astray a number of people from among you. Why do you not even then make use of your understanding, so as to rectify your error? This is the Gehenna you were warned against. Enter it this day because of your disbelief. On that day, we shall seal the mouths of these disbelievers. Their hands will speak to us about the actions they wrought, and their feet shall bear witness to all their sinful doings. If we had so willed, we could certainly have deprived these disbelievers of their eyesight, so that they would have gone ahead on their path unseeing. But how should they find the path now in this state of their blindness? If we had so willed, we could have certainly destroyed them where they were, so that they would not be able to move forward nor turn back. We reverse the mechanism of the person to whom we grant extraordinary long life by making the state of his constitution weak. Do they not even then make use of their understanding? We have not taught him, the Prophet Muhammad, the art of composing verses, nor does it become him to be a poet. This Quran is but a means to attain to eminence, a book that is widely read and tells the right from the wrong. It has been revealed so that he, the Prophet, may warn those who are still somewhat spiritually alive and so capable of receiving and responding to the call of truth, and that the verdict of condemnation be justified against the disbelievers. Do they not see that among the things that we have made with our power are the cattle which we have created for them, and of which they are masters now? And we have subdued these cattle for their use and benefit, so that some of them serve as their riding beast, and through others they obtain their food. They have many other uses in them. They provide them with the drinks of various kinds. Will they still give us no thanks? In spite of all this, they worship other gods apart from Allah falsely, that they may find some help through them. These false gods are not capable of helping them. On the contrary, these gods will turn out for them to be a host of rebels brought before the Almighty to receive their due punishment. And do not let their words cause you grief. Verily, we know what they conceal and what they profess, and they will be paid back in their own coins. Has not a human being seen how we have created him out of a very insignificant sperm drop? Yet behold, he is an open adversary to us. and he coins strange things about us and forgets his own creation. He says, "Who will quicken the dead bones to life when they are decayed?" Say, "He who evolved them the first time will again raise them to life." He is fully conversant with all types and methods of creation. It is he who produces fire for you out of the green tree, that you kindle another fire from it. Even so, new faith is kindled when the spiritually weak come in contact with the divine reformer. Has he who has created the heavens and the earth not the power of creating other people like them? Why not? He is the supreme creator and possessor of all knowledge. Verily, his command, when he intends to evolve a thing, is only that he says to it, "Be," and it comes into being at proper time. Therefore, glory be to him in whose hand lies the perfect control of everything, and towards whom you shall be made to return. As-Safat, those ranging in ranks. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Cited as witness are those who range themselves in close ranks in various fields of life, and those who drive away the forces of evil vigorously, and those who recite and follow the reminder, the Quran. Verily your God is one, Lord of the heavens and the earth, and all that lies between them, and the Lord of the places of the rising and spreading of light. Verily, we have beautified and embellished the nearer space, the heaven visible to you, with an excellent embellishment, the stars and planets. And we have placed therein an effective safeguard against every insolently disobedient Satan. They, having no access to the source of prophecy, cannot listen to what goes on in the exalted assembly of the archangels. They are reproached for their false conjectures from every side. They are repulsed. A perpetual punishment awaits them. Yet if any one of them snatches away but once to find out something, he is pursued by a bright shining flame. Therefore, ask them, your opponents, whether it is they, the worldly people, who are harder in creation, or those spiritual beings whom we have created. Them we have created out of adhesive sticking clay, so of firm and strong character. Whereas you marvel at this mighty spiritual revelation, they hold you in low estimation. When they are admonished, they pay no heed, and when they see a sign, they seek to scoff at it. And they say, "This is nothing but an enchantment, a device causing a split among the people." Well, can it be possible that when we are dead and reduced to dust and bones, we shall be raised to life again? And shall our forefathers of earlier times be also? Say, yes, and you shall then be disgraced. Then there shall be but a single driving shout, and behold, they will be up and looking on. And they will say, "Oh, woe be on us! This is the day of requital." They will be told, "This is the day of the last judgment. Yes, the very day you used to cry lies to." Angels will be commanded, "Round up those who acted unjustly, and their companions, and the things they used to worship, besides Allah, then lead them towards the way of hell, and hold them up for a while, for they have to be questioned." They will be asked, what is the matter with you, that you do not help one another this day? Rather, they will, on that day, being ashamed, be completely submissive, bending their heads low. Some of them will turn to the others, questioning to one another reproachingly. They, the seduced ones, will say to the seducers, "Surely you used to approach us with great force, swearing your sincerity to guide us aright." They, the seducers, will reply, "It was not so. Rather, you yourselves were not inclined to be the believers. And we had no authority over you to seduce you. The truth is that you yourselves were an unrestrained people and given to excesses. So today we all deserve the judgment of our Lord. We are the sufferers of the punishment for our own evil deeds. So it is we who led you astray, for we ourselves had indeed gone astray. On that day, all of them shall surely share the punishment. Surely that is how we deal with the guilty. For when it was said to them, there is no other, cannot be, and will never be one worthy of worship but Allah, they ever turned away in disdain. And they used to say, "Are we to forsake our gods for the sake of a mad poet?" Nay, this prophet is neither insane nor a poet. The fact is that he brought the everlasting truth and has testified to the truth of all the messengers gone before him. Disbelievers, you will suffer the woeful punishment most certainly. You shall be made to reap the fruit of your own deeds. Different, however, is the case of the chosen servants of Allah, the true and purified ones. It is they for whom there awaits a provision especially earmarked. Fruits. Moreover, they shall be the honored ones and generously treated in the gardens of bliss. They shall be seated on thrones of happiness and dignity face to face. They will be served in a round with a bowl containing pure drink filled at a limpid flowing fountain. Sparkling white, delicious to the drinkers, as a reward for their leading pure, sweet, and flawless lives. Neither these drinks will cause any ruinous effect, nor will they be deprived of intellectual faculties thereby. And they will have chaste wives by their sides, damsels with restrained and modest looks, and with large, beautiful eyes, just as though they were eggs carefully guarded, of pure and unspoiled character. Then, sipping their cups, they will turn one to another asking questions. One of them will say, "Surely I had an intimate companion in the world, who used to say, 'Are you indeed one of those who confirm and really believe in the resurrection? Is it true that we shall be reunited when we are dead and reduced to dust and bones?' He, the confirmer of the resurrection, will then add, saying, 'Have a look at that companion of mine to find how he fares.' Then, as he will have a look at his companion, he will find him right in the midst of hell. He will then say to that companion, 'By Allah, you had almost caused me to perish. But for the favor and grace of my Lord, I would have also been of those who are facing the punishment today.' The owners of paradise will then ask one another, 'Is it not true that we are not going to suffer death again? Ours was only the death we have already met in the world, and we are going to suffer no punishment. This indeed is the mighty achievement on our part. Let those who would strive then strive for the like of this supreme triumph. Does all this state of bliss make a better welcome than the tree of Zakum, which will serve as food for the people of Gehenna? For we have made this tree a scourge for the wrongdoers. It is a tree which springs forth from the bottom of hell. Its produce is as though it were the heads of serpents. And most surely they, the inmates of hell, shall eat of it and fill their bellies with it. In addition to all this, they will have therein a mixture of boiling water to drink. Then most surely they shall finally go to hell. The thing is, they found their forefathers erring, and they are rushing on in their footsteps as if driven by some inward urge. And most of the ancient people had erred before them, though we had already sent warners among them. Behold, then, how evil was the end of those who were warned. Different, however, was the case of the chosen servants of Allah, the true and purified ones. And Noah did call upon us in his hour of trial. How gracious we are in answering prayers, and how excellent a response did we make. We delivered him and his people from the great distress, and we let his progeny alone to survive. And we left behind him a blessed salutation for the later generations to remember him by. Peace be upon Noah, the prayer being invoked upon him among all the peoples. That is how we reward the performers of excellent deeds. He was surely one of our believing servants. And whereas we saved him and his people, we drowned the rest. And Abraham also belonged to his school of thought. Recall the time when he came to his Lord with a pure heart, and when he asked his sire and his people, "What is it that you worship? Do you choose to worship gods made falsely, leaving Allah aside? So what do you take the Lord of the worlds to be, as you people worship false gods?" Then he cast a glance at the stars, intimating that their discussion had dragged far into the night, and said, "I am indeed sick of your worshiping false gods." So those people turned their backs upon him and left him. Then he turned his attention towards their gods, and with a mind to make their worshippers realize their folly said, addressing the gods, "Do you not eat any of the things that lie before you? What is wrong with you that you do not even speak?" He then came upon them, hitting them hard with the right hand. Hearing this news, the people came running to him. He said to them, "You worship the things you have chiseled yourselves, whereas it is Allah who has created you. But what is it that you are doing?" His opponents said, "Build up a pyre for him and throw him into the blazing fire." Thus they designed a plan against him, but we made them to be the most humiliated. Abraham said, "I shall go where my Lord bids me. He will surely guide me right to the path leading to success in my mission." And he prayed, "My Lord, grant me an issue who is of the righteous." So we gave him the good tidings of the birth of a wise and forbearing son. Now when that son, Ismail, was old enough to work along with him, his father Abraham said, "My dear son, I have seen in a dream that I sacrifice you. So consider it and tell me what you think of it." The son said, "My dear father, Do as you have been commanded. If Allah will, you will find me of the calm and steadfast. Now it so happened, when both of them submitted themselves to the will of God, and he, Abraham, had laid him, Ismail, down on his forehead, we called out to him, saying, O Abraham, you have already fulfilled the vision. That is how we reward those who perform excellent deeds. That was obviously a disciplinary test, crowned with a mighty reward. And a great sacrifice was the ransom with which we redeemed him. And we left behind him, among the succeeding generations, the noble salutation to invoke blessings upon him. Peace be upon Abraham. That is how we reward the performers of excellent deeds. Surely he was one of our believing servants. And we gave him also the good tidings of the birth of Isaac, a prophet, and who is one of the righteous. And we bestowed our blessings on him, Ismail, and on Isaac. And among the progeny of both, there are some persons who perform excellent deeds, and also some who are clearly unjust to themselves. We did bestow our favors on Moses and Aaron. We delivered them both and their people from the great distress. And we came to their help against the people of Pharaoh, so it was they who gained clear supremacy. And we gave them both the manifesting book, and we guided them both to the right and straight path. And we left behind both of them a blessed salutation among the generations to come. Peace be upon Moses and Aaron. That is how we reward the performers of excellent deeds. Surely they were both among our believing servants. Verily Elias was also one of the messengers. Recall the time when he said to his people, Will you not guard against evil deeds? Do you call upon Baal, the sun god, and forsake the best creator? Allah, your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers of old? But they cried lies to him, and they will surely be brought before God to account for their deeds. Different, however, shall be the case of the chosen servants of Allah, the purified ones. And we left behind him, Elias, among the succeeding generations, the blessed salutation to be invoked upon him. Peace be upon Elias and his people. That is how we reward the performers of excellent deeds. Surely he was one of our believing servants. And verily, Lot was also one of the messengers. Recall the time when we delivered him and his followers all together, except an old woman who was among those who stayed behind and did not go with those delivered. And we utterly destroyed the rest. And you surely pass by them, their ruins sometimes, in the morning, and sometimes by night. Do you not still make use of your understanding and take heed? And surely Jonah also was one of the messengers. Recall the time when he fled from his people towards the fully laden ship. So he was with those crew who cast lots on board of the ill-fated ship, and his name was among those who were to be thrown overboard, in order to keep the ship light and well balanced on account of the storm. And so he was also of those who were cast off in the sea. Then it came about that a big fish took him in its mouth, while he was reproaching himself. Had he not been of those who glorify God, he would have surely remained in its belly till the time people are raised up after their death. Then it came to pass that we cast him on a bare and wide tract of land, and he was completely worn out and sick. And we caused a plant of the gourd type, bearing large-sized fruit, but the creeper of slender stem, to grow near him. And we sent him back as a messenger at Nineveh, to a people 100,000 strong. Rather, they were even more. They all believed in him, so we provided them gains till the end of their lives. Now ask these disbelievers whether daughters are for your Lord as they assert, and sons for themselves? Or did we create the angels as females in their presence, while they were witnesses of their birth? Beware! It is one of their fabrications that they say, Allah has begotten those as his children. They are liars, of course. Has he chosen daughters in preference to sons? What is the matter with you? How wrongly you judge! Will you take no heed? Or have you a clear authority in your defense for your false beliefs? If so, then come out with your authoritative scripture if you are truthful. And they have set up a kinship between him and the jinn, strong and mighty men, whereas the jinn know fully well that they themselves shall be called to account for their deeds. Holy is Allah, far beyond the things they attribute to him. But the chosen servants of Allah, the purified ones, attribute nothing derogatory to him. Disbelievers, neither you, of course, nor the things you worship, none of you can mislead anyone against him, excepting only the person who is himself going to enter hell. The righteous say, each one of us has his assigned place, and most surely we are the ones who stand ranged in rows, attending to the command of God. Verily, we are the ones who glorify him and sing his praise. And surely these infidels used to say, had there been with us an exhortation from the people of old, we would surely have been the chosen servants of Allah, the purified ones. But now they have disbelieved in this book, the Quran, when it has come to them. So they will soon come to know the consequences of their disbelief. And we have already given our word of promise to our servants, the apostles, that it is they alone who shall receive our help against the infidels, and that it is our armies that shall gain clear supremacy. So turn away from them until a time of your success, and watch what happens to them, and they too will soon see their own doom. Do they seek to hasten on our punishment? But evil shall be the mourning of those who were warned when this punishment shall descend in their precincts. So turn away from them until a time that of your supremacy, and watch what happens to them, and they too will soon see their end. Holy is your Lord, the Lord of all honor and power. He is far above the polytheistic things they attribute to him. And peace be ever upon all the messengers. And all type of perfect and true praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Sod, the truthful God. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Sod, Allah is the truthful. As proof of this fact, the Quran, which exalts humankind to eminence, bears witness. There is nothing wrong with the Prophet. The only thing is that the disbelievers are suffering from a sense of false pride and are hostile to him. Do they not see that we have destroyed so many generations before them? They did not care to listen to the warnings at first. Then later they cried for help, but the time for escape had passed. They wonder that there should come to them a warner from among themselves, and the disbelievers say, "He is a sorcerer, a great liar in his claim." Has he turned the whole lot of gods we worshipped into one God? Very strange indeed is this thing. And the leaders among them go about saying, "Go from here, and adhere constantly to the worship of your gods." This claim of the Quran about the unity of God is a thing designed with some purpose behind it. We heard nothing of its kind about any of the previous creeds. This is nothing but a forgery. Is it that this reminder, the Quran, has been revealed only to him in preference to all of us? The thing is, they have doubts about my reminder itself. As a matter of fact, they have not yet suffered the agony of my punishment. Do they possess the treasures of the mercy of your Lord, the Almighty, the great bestower? Or does the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and all that lies between them, belong to them? If so, then let them rise higher with the means at their disposal and stop the onward march of Islam. But bear in mind the prophecy. There will be several hosts of the Confederates, which shall be completely routed here at Medina. The people of Noah, the tribe of Ad, and Pharaoh, Lord of mighty host, treated their apostles before them as liars. So did the tribe of Thamud, and the people of Lot, and the dwellers of the thicket. These were all routed groups of people. Each one had cried lies to the messengers, so my punishment rightly became due on them. And also for these people of your time awaits a sudden punishment which shall know no pause. They say, "Our Lord, hurry up with our portion of punishment in this very life before the day of reckoning." Bear with patience what they say, and remember the event of the life of our servant David, the possessor of might. Verily, he was ever turning to God. Indeed, we made the people of the mountains subservient to him, and they celebrated our praises at nightfall and at sunrise. And we made the birds and the people who were full of dislike for habitations to flock together to him. All of them were always turning in obedience to God on his account. And we strengthened his kingdom, and we granted him wisdom and decisive judgment. Have you heard the news of the adversaries of David, who scaled the rampart of the fortress to take David unawares in his chamber? When they intruded upon David and found that he had become alert on account of them, they said by way of an excuse, "Have no fear. We are two parties litigants. One of us has transgressed against the other. Therefore, judge between us as justice demands, and delay not by giving the date of decision, and guide us in our litigation to the fair way." The case of the litigation is that this is my brother. He has 99 ewes while I have 1 ewe. Still, he says, "Make it over to me." And he has been prevailing by his arguments upon me. David said, "He has certainly been unjust to you in demanding your ewe to be added to his own ewes. And surely many partners transgress against one another except those who believe in God and do deeds of righteousness. Yet how few are these?" While saying this, David realized that we had tried him. Therefore he sought protection of his Lord and fell down bowing in worship and turned to his Lord in repentance. So we gave him that protection sought for by him from that danger he felt. And verily he enjoyed our close proximity and an excellent status. We said, "O David, Verily we have made you the ruler in this land. So rule among the people according to the tenets of justice, and do not follow their vain desires. For if you do, it will lead you astray from the path leading to Allah. Behold, a severe punishment awaits those who go astray from Allah's way, because they have forgotten the day of reckoning. And we have not created the heavens and the earth, and all that lies between them in vain. That is the view of the disbelievers only. Therefore, woe to those who disbelieve because of the punishment by means of the fire that awaits them. Are we to treat those who believe and do deeds of righteousness in the same way as the creators of disorder in the land? Or are we to treat those who guard against evil in the same way as the wicked and impious? Behold, this Quran is a great book which we have revealed to you, full of excellencies, so that these people may ponder over its verses, and so that those gifted with pure understanding may take heed. And we gave a pious son like Solomon to David. How excellent a servant of ours he was! For he turned to us in obedience and repentance again and again. Think of the time when towards the close of the day, steeds of the noblest breed and swift of foot were brought before him. He said, I prefer the love of good things because they make me remember God, my Lord. And he remained busy in his devotion and prayer when these horses disappeared while passing by behind the veil of distance. He said, Bring them back to me. Then as they were brought, he began to stroke their hind legs and necks with kindness. Behold, we tried Solomon too, and we placed on his throne of kingdom a mere body without any spirit or faith. Then he turned to God, seeking his mercy. He said, praying, My Lord, grant me protection and bestow on me a kingdom that belongs to none by inheritance after me. You indeed are the great bestower. So we accepted his prayer, and we subjected to him a gentle wind. It blew gently according to his requirements in the direction he desired to go. And we also subjugated to him the rebellious people, all their builders and divers, and others among them who were bound in chains. We said to him, This is our gift that knows no measure, so give it freely or withhold it from whomsoever you deem fit, without reckoning. Behold, there is for him, Solomon, our close proximity and an excellent resort. And recall our servant Job, when he called to his Lord, saying, The devil of the desert, thirst, has afflicted me with weariness and torment. We directed him, Urge your riding beast with your foot, and depart swiftly. There lies yonder a cool bathing place and a refreshing drink. Not only that, but rather we gave him his own family, and the followers he had before, and as many more with him in the form of new adherents, by way of mercy from ourselves. The lesson thus taught will serve as a means to attain eminence for those gifted with pure and clear understanding. And we commanded him, Take in your hand a handful of twigs, and strike the riding beast therewith, and do not ever incline towards falseness. Indeed, we found him steadfast. An excellent servant was he. He was always turning towards God in obedience. We call our servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all endowed with power for action and insight. We had indeed chosen them for one special purpose, for reminding people of the abode of the hereafter. And of course they are in our sight among the elect and the select. And recall Ismail, Elisha, and Dhul-Kifl, Ezekiel. They were all of our chosen ones. This narrative is the way to eminence. Behold, there awaits the righteous a beautiful and excellent resort. Gardens of eternity with their gates thrown open to receive them. There they will be reclining comfortably on couches, and there will be order at pleasure for many sorts of fruits and drinks. And they will have by their sides chaste mates with downcast and restrained looks, and of suitable age and matching in every aspect. This is what you are promised for the day of reckoning. Verily, this is our provision which knows no end. This is the reward for the righteous only. As for the rebellious, surely evil is their end. Gehenna, wherein they will enter, and it shall be an evil cradling for nursing them to spiritual growth. This is what the disbelievers will have. So let them suffer from it a burning despair and intensely cold and stinking drink, and other various torments of similar nature. It will be said to their leaders of mischief, this is a whole army of yours, which is rushing headlong with you into hell. There is no welcome for them. They are bound to enter the fire. They, their followers, will say to their leaders, nay, it is rather you who deserve hell. There is no welcome for you either. In truth, it was you that brought about this evil punishment for us by leading us astray. What an evil resting place it is. They will then say, our Lord, whoso brought about this evil end for us? Increase for him more and more agony in the fire. And these inmates of hell will say, what is the matter with us that we do not see here the men whom we used to count among the wicked? Is it because we unjustly held them in scorn, or is it that our eyes have missed them? Behold, this is an invariable fact that the inmates of the fire will be disputing together. Say, I am only a warner. There is no other, cannot be, and will never be one worthy of worship but Allah, the one, the subduer of all, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and all that lies between the two, the Almighty, the great protector. Say, this is a very important announcement, yet you are turning away from this. I had no knowledge of the exalted assembly, comprising of the angels in the upper zones, when they discussed the matter among themselves. But all that has been revealed to me is that I am a warner, telling the right from the wrong. Call to mind when your Lord said to the angels, I am about to create a human being from clay. And when I have fashioned him in perfection, and I have inspired into him of my revelation, then fall down submitting to him. So when he inspired into him his revelation, the angels submitted one and all. But Iblis did not. He behaved arrogantly, for he was of the disbelievers. God said, O Iblis, what prevented you from submitting to him whom I have created with my own special powers, bestowing him with the maximum attributes? Is it that you seek to be great, or is it that you are really of the highly proud ones, above obeying my command? Iblis said, I am better than he. You created me from fire, while you created him from clay. God said, then get out of this state. You are surely driven away from my mercy, and surely upon you shall be my disapproval till the day of judgment. Iblis said, my Lord, reprieve me till the day when the people are raised to life. God said, you are of course of the reprieved ones, till the day of which the time is known and fixed. Iblis said, I swear by your might, I will surely seduce them all. Accept your servants from among them, the true and purified ones, who are out of my powers. God said, Truth has dawned, and I speak the truth. That I will fill Gehenna with the like of you and with all those from among them who follow you. Say, O prophet, I ask no reward from you for it, nor am I of those who are given to affectation and are impostors. This Quran is nothing but a means to rise to eminence for the peoples, and you shall surely know the truth of the news thereof before long. Al-Zumar, the multitudes. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. The orderly arrangement and authentic compilation of this wonderfully perfect book is from Allah, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Surely it is we who have revealed the book to you with the established truth to suit the requirements of truth and wisdom. So worship Allah, being truly sincere to Him in obedience. Beware, sincere and true obedience is due to Allah alone. Those who choose others as a patron besides Him say, we serve them only that they may bring us near to Allah in station. It is absolutely wrong. Allah will judge the differences between these, believers and disbelievers. Indeed, Allah does not guide him to success, who is a liar, highly ungrateful. If Allah had intended to take to Himself a son, He could have chosen from His creation the one He pleased, and would not have left it to you. Holy is He. He is Allah, the One, the All-Dominant. He created the heavens and the earth to suit the requirements of truth and wisdom. He causes the night to revolve upon the day, and causes the day to revolve upon the night, and He has pressed the sun and the moon into service. Each pursues its course for an appointed term. Behold, He is the Almighty, the Great Protector. He created you from a single soul. Then, from that same stock that He created a human being, He created his spouse. And He has given you 8 varieties of cattle in pairs. He creates you in the wombs of your mothers, a creation, stage by stage, making you pass through 3 periods of darkness. Such is Allah your Lord. The sovereignty and power belongs to Him alone. There is no other, cannot be, and will never be one worthy of worship but He. Where are you then being turned away? If you show ingratitude, surely Allah is independent of you. He does not require your thanks. Yet He does not approve of His people to be ungrateful. Indeed, it is for your own sake that He approves of you being grateful. And no soul that bears a burden can bear the burden of the sins of another. Behold, to your Lord shall you all return, so that He will inform you of all that you have been doing. He knows full well even the innermost secrets of the hearts. And when an affliction befalls a person, he prays to his Lord, turning penitently to Him. But when He confers a favor upon him from Himself, he forgets the affliction, for the removal of which he used to pray to Him, and starts assigning peers with Allah, with the result that he causes the people to go astray from His path, the path leading to one God. Say, enjoy your ingratitude for a little while. You are sure to be of the inmates of the fire. Can he who is obedient and prays to Allah devoutly in the hours of the night, now falling prostrate, now standing upright in prayer, taking precaution against the grave sequel of the hereafter, and hopes for the mercy of his Lord, be treated like him who is disobedient? Say, are those who know their obligations equal to those who know them not? Only those endowed with pure understanding do take heed. Say, O my servants who believe, take your Lord as a shield. There is a good reward for those who do good in the life of this world. And if you are persecuted for your faith, know that the earth of Allah is vast and spacious. Certainly the patiently persevering and steadfast will be given their reward beyond measure. Say, verily I have orders to worship Allah, being truly sincere to Him alone in obedience. And I have orders to be the foremost among those who surrender themselves to His will. Say, if I disobey my Lord, I have to fear the torment of a dreadful day. Say, it is Allah I worship, being purely sincere to Him in my obedience. Again, as for you, you may go and worship whomsoever you please apart from Him. Say, the true losers are those who ruin their own souls and their families on the day of resurrection. Beware, surely that is the manifest loss. They shall have coverings of the fire over them, and sheets of similar coverings below them, allowing them no escape. That is the sort of punishment against which Allah warns His servants. My servants, do not invite my punishment. Rather take me as your shield. But there await good tidings for those who restrain themselves from worshipping the transgressor and turn to Allah. So give glad tidings to my servants, who listen to the word of advice and follow the best injunction productive of the best result thereof. It is they whom Allah has guided, and it is they who are endowed with pure and clear understanding. Can he then, against whom the verdict of punishment becomes due, and who therefore merits punishment, be saved? Can you rescue him who is consigned to the fire? But for those who take their Lord as a shield, there awaits them lofty mansions, story upon story, with streams running beneath them. This is the promise of Allah, and Allah will never fail in His promise. Have you not seen the sight that Allah sends down water from the clouds, and it causes it to flow in the form of streamlets on the earth, and then brings forth herbage of various kinds and of divers hues with it? Then it dries up after ripening, so that you see it turn yellow. Then He turns it into chaff. Behold, in this similitude is a reminder for people endowed with pure and clear understanding. Is he whose mind Allah has opened for the acceptance of Islam, so that he follows the light from his Lord, like one who gropes in the darkness of disbelief? Woe to those whose hearts are hardened against the remembrance of Allah. Such indeed are steeped in clear error. Allah has revealed the best message, the fairest discourse, this wonderfully coherent book, the verses of which are mutually supplementing and repeating, narrating both sides of the case in various ways to drive home the divine injunctions to human minds. It makes the very skins of those who stand in awe of their Lord creep, and their hearts tremble at its recital. Yet their hearts and skins soften towards the remembrance of Allah. This is Allah's guidance. He guides him thereby who wishes to be guided. Yet none can guide him whom Allah forsakes and adjudges to be astray. Is he then who has only his own person to shield him from the evil punishment of the day of resurrection, like him who is secure? And it will be said to the unjust on that day, suffer the punishment of what you used to commit deliberately. Their predecessors also cried lies to their messengers of God, so that our punishment came upon them from quarters they little perceived. So Allah made them suffer humiliation in the present life, and the punishment in store for them in the hereafter will be greater still, if they but realize it. And we have set forth for the people all sorts of excellent and useful proofs in this Quran, that they may take heed. We have revealed the Quran in Arabic. There is no deviation from rectitude in it, and is free from all flaws, that they may guard against sufferings. Allah describes the condition of a man belonging to several partners contending with one another, and there is another man devoted wholly to one person. Are they two alike in condition? No, how can they be? All true and perfect praise belongs to Allah, but most of them do not know this truth. One day you will surely die, and so shall they after a brief span of life. Then on the day of resurrection, you will all dispute with one another before your Lord.